Hello and welcome. My clock is chiming. It is Sunday. It is afternoon. And that means it's time for Morgan's lazy Sunday afternoon productivity stream, where sometimes we're productive and sometimes we're not, but we always have snacks. With me today, I have the one, the only Doc Coleman. Say hello to the nice people, Doc.
Hello, nice people.
Um, and unfortunately, Sako cannot be with us because fortunately, she made it to war. She's in Pennsylvania for Pennsic, large medieval times as they should have been reenactment camping event that happens for 2 weeks every August. So there's the first week is peace and the second week is war, and there's a lot of people with padded weapons going to war, and a lot of workshops and dancing things and alcohol, and yeah, also
Or,
it's a festival of sorts.
or as they refer to it, they've gone home.
Right. So that is why Sako is not with us today, but I hope she is having an amazing time and staying dry and not overheating because the weather is fickle.
And Penzic is a swamp.
Yeah, and Pensic is does
So
take place in a swamp. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's why the farmer lets them rent the field because it wasn't that great for farming. So, uh, so what is everybody working on today? Are you feeling lazy? Are you feeling productive? Where are you?
I'm I'm feeling a little stressed out.
Oh
I'm
dear.
because next weekend I'm going to be up at Key City Steampunk
Oh,
in
yes.
Gettysburg,
Boom,
and
boom,
I
boom.
have
Oh yeah. Okay.
I have done this much preparation for it. So
You have
I know
business
I've got
cards?
yes, I've got business cards.
Do you have
Um,
books?
I've got books. Um,
Everything else you can do last minute.
I need to figure out what all that everything else is.
Is it
So
close enough to commute, or do you need a hotel room?
we've got a hotel room, but
Okay.
because it's like an hour's drive away, and
Sure.
that's 2 hours out of your day.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
my wife is talking about making that commute so that she can take care of the cats.
Aw.
Um, but I'm still going to be there in the hotel room, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll figure out
It's
something. But
good to have some place to stretch out, decompress, charge your devices, what have you. Keep extra merch,
yeah, well,
whatever.
I've got an author's table, which means I'm out in the hallways. So when I'm not selling, I have to pack all the merch up somewhere,
Mm.
and it's more fun to just wheel it into the room than it is to pack it into the car and take it home.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So, okay. Let me pop over to the comments. We have a Mama Maggie. Hello.
Hey, Maggie.
Maggie's here today. Maggie got 300,
Three
3,500.
1,500.
Sorry, I have zero issues, clearly. You see what I did there? See what I did
Yeah,
there?
zero issues. Yeah.
I have zero issues. So Maggie got 3,500 written for today and is now off to edit a different project. Oh my gosh, it dropped to 60 degrees Fahrenheit on the Colorado prairie today. For Celsius people, that means it is now about 15, 16 degrees, where I think it was closer to 30, 35. Um,
No.
so
Meanwhile, it's 88 degrees here.
Right. Hello, Rita. Rita is joining us and is still working on revisions. I hear you. My life is revisions. 27 pages to go.
Mm.
27, 20, 20,
20,
20,
20,
27
27 pages to
pages
go.
to go.
I want to be sedated.
Sedated.
Not
Maggie,
insane, but we've got the idea.
right? So Maggie says it was nice that it dropped to 60 degrees because it was baking hot by 8 a.m. And then oh my gosh, a massive storm that dropped 7 tornadoes and golf ball sized to grapefruit sized hail. That's
That's big.
huge. I hope you're okay. I hope the animals, and I don't know if you have a garden or a farm. I know you have animals. I hope everything's okay and didn't get like crushed.
Or
Yeesh,
structural damage.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
So Rita said as a kid, their family visited Gettysburg often, so is quite familiar with the weather travails of outside Penzic. So, oh, hello, Andy. Andy says, ever get 5K into a short story and realize you've got the wrong conflict and you have to rewrite it before the end of the month deadline? Well, I've never had a deadline that was external to me, but I have rewritten, I think, half of the drafts that I have finished have been rewritten. Sometimes it takes me more than one go to get a story right.
I'm pretty sure I've got a short story I've got to get written by the end of the month, and I haven't started on it. And right now, it looks like I'm not going to start on it until after next weekend. So,
Oh no! Are you? Do you outline? I forget.
um, I try to figure out what the setting is, who my
Right.
characters are,
Yeah.
what are major scenes and conflicts, and then I kind of sit down and roll with it. Yeah, I don't do formal outlines, but if I've got enough good scenes with the characters, then I might as well have an outline. The story writes itself.
It sounds pretty cool. Okay. So that sounds like a lot. Oh, okay, good. Maggie, the storm missed them, including the tornadoes, and the hail fell in the direction that the house and the barn protected the garden. Okay, I thought
That's
so. And the trees saved the truck. Oh my gosh. Oh no, but neighbors 10 miles south lost 2 trucks, roofs on everything, and oh no. 3 yearling calves and a horse were killed by the hail. Yeah, when it's that serious. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, some friends of mine with a goat farm lost a goat to the winds coming for the wrong direction, and a bunch of trees fell, and one of them landed on a goat last year. So, I mean, I know weather can be rough. It's and it doesn't even require a tornado to make it happen. So. Hello, Scott Bradley. You made it. I think this is the first time you've hit one of my live streams, but I'm happy to have you. I met him at Imaginarium, and he was pretty awesome. Anyway, Scott says, I need to do Penzic someday. It's been decades since I've been in the midst of tragedy created by mosquitoes, rain, heat, and sleeping on rocks. I mean, I live in Virginia. We got 3 out of the 4 every day.
Yeah, it's sleeping on rocks kind of like, nah.
I mean, if I want to go like Piedmont or like toward the mountains, but I'm mostly a Tidewater, Virginia girl. We just have sand and mud, not so many rocks. So, yeah. Andy says that was some heavy weather out your way, Maggie. Oh my gosh. I'm glad you're okay. I'm so sorry for your neighbor. So that's Monday. Speaking of trees falling, my fence situation with my back fence neighbor should be sorted out on Monday. We don't know who owns the fence that a giant massive limb of theirs crushed. There's 3 panels out, and my insurance doesn't know who owns the fence. The city wouldn't tell me. They told me to call the surveyor. The surveyor wouldn't tell me. They told me to hire a land attorney. And I said, it's 3 fence panels. I got a friend with a chainsaw. So his insurance is sending out adjusters tomorrow. So we can hopefully sort out whose fence it is and move forward on getting it out of my backyard. So yeah, that's my storm damage from last week update. Scott says on outlining stories, he has spent weeks on a heavily detailed outline to have the story to tell him to bleep off and take me elsewhere. Scott thinks he needs to be flexible and fluid.
I see you've come up with an excellent plan for a story. It's very interesting, especially over here. But we're going this way.
I mean, I've played D&D. That's how it goes. Scott says my stories are much smarter than me. Yeah. As I like to say, I outline and then I ignore it unless I get stuck. So I just want to have a direction to go in and some vague ideas about some milestones. And if you zoom out far enough, I'm usually always right. But if you zoom in, it looks nothing like what I expected.
Especially when you unexpectedly find yourself talking about tax fraud and stuff like that.
Right?
And that's sci-fi
Right?
fantasy.
And school field trips. Nobody wants tax fraud and school field trips and a space fantasy. I mean, maybe they do, but
maybe school field trips if it was YA, but
maybe. In my defense, it was school field trip with sentient space octopus people who were like this big, and they were like going into a space station for the first time. And it was adorable, but not the story I set out to tell, which is why it took me 2 tries to tell that story. And I'm almost done with revisions. So what do you say we
jump in
start
and
a
start a
sprint?
sprint?
What?
Jump in and
Craziness.
start a sprint? Craziness.
Great minds think alike. Or something. Mob
Like
mentality. Maybe mob mentality. So, okay, let's go ahead and share my screen. Make sure you have my beautiful audio so you can hear that chime when we're all done. And boop, boop. Okay, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom, chaka laka laka laka. Oh wait, I have to hit the button.
Helped if you hit
There
the
we
button.
go. Okay, let's get started.
Ready when you are.
Okay, and I'm back. Sorry about that. I deleted 3 pages because that context no longer exists, and started the new scene. Or
So,
started the scene where it needed to, now that
so
that part's been
that's one way to
removed.
get through those last few pages. Just delete them all.
Yeah, but I still need a couple confrontations added, and I'm wondering if I need to shift the cousin's point of view up an entire chapter all the way through the story to better fit things in, or if maybe one of her chapters can be deleted because her story is kind of I'd call it a slow burn, but I don't know if it burns. So I might need to step it up. So I'm contemplating that entire storyline,
More
which
of a dry smolder instead of a
I
slow
mean, it gets there. It gets there, but
burn.
I am taking a bunch of confrontations that were off the page and putting them on the page, which is where they're supposed to be. Otherwise, I've been watching. Uh, the roommate's kid is 9, and he and I have been enjoying By the Grace of the Gods, which is a cute isekai anime about a guy who's a salary man and feels like he wasted his life and gets reborn as like a 6-year-old boy in a magical world and trains slimes. And in it, it's super cute. It's very adorable. Definitely, oh no, I might be exploiting my workforce. As like the worst possible thing that the main character can think of as doing, because he feels like as a salary man he had been abused.
I was going to say, obviously not, because if you were a real capitalist exploiting your workforce, you wouldn't care.
Exactly. But yeah, so that's definitely like it's cheesy, it's very lighthearted, but also, ooh, is there a potential conflict? Let's step aside and move forward. So I know sometimes I do that in my writing, and I'm trying to step back into that liner and have the conversation on the page rather than talking about the aftermath,
Yeah.
because you're here to see the drama, not the aftermath. So
Well, it depends on who you are, but
true. So how was your sprint?
um, I started getting myself organized with a list of things that I need to pack for my convention next weekend, and I pulled out a list from a convention I did up in April of this year. I
Okay,
started doing revisions, and then started looking at it and saying, "Oh wait, where the heck is this stuff?" And started running around looking and trying to find stuff.
sure. Awesome.
And
I'm super excited for you. I hope it's a great convention. So, okay, I am going to pop back into the comments.
because
Let's
there's so
see.
many.
um, just before our break, for people who are joining us later, I was talking about how I do high level outlines and then ignore them until I get stuck. Um, Maggie says, I feel that my detailed plots turn into tourist brochures, a list of recommended places to visit for me while writing, which is nice. Scott says, it's astonishing what works. If you reread Heinlein's Stranger in a Strange Land, you realize he cared a lot about lawyers, tax law, and land rights. Maybe I'm not so bad with my tax fraud. Uh, Scott says, incredibly dry conversations somehow made exciting by a wild but very dated storyline. I think tourist brochures have legs for days. And Debbie swung by. Hello, Debbie. Always good to have you. Andy said during the sprint he did a quick outline for the reorganized story and is not rewriting the beginning. So I may have done a little uh,
Embellishment.
embellishment there.
Yes.
So, and Maggie agrees that it's always good to show the confrontations instead of and we're not talking anymore.
Yeah. See, I was just thinking that you can have those incredibly dry conversations and make them more exciting by having them in the middle of a firefight, and periodically having one person or the other asking, "Do you really want to talk about this now?"
I mean, that feels somehow
Familiar?
right up your alley. I didn't know you had an alley, but there you go. Are alleys steampunk? I mean, if you can just go like with the vertical ascent with the hot air balloon.
Of course, alleys are steampunk. Where else are we going to have the villains lurking?
Oh, of
Of
course.
course.
Of course. So let's see. Maggie says she wrote a scene mentioned in the outline in past tense as it happened instead, because who doesn't want to sneak into a party and live stream their arch nemesis getting with her boy toys during an elite community party where everyone is dressed for cotillion? Oh my.
I'm pretty sure your readers want to see that. Yeah. Or at least some of your readers do.
And she stole a bunch of antique cookbooks for her sister who'd been crippled by the nemesis. I mean, I just want to like rub butter on an open burn wound now.
I'm trying to consider that. Is how appropriate a revenge is that? It's like, yes, sister, I know that you have been crippled and you'll be stuck in this assistive device for the rest of your life. But here are uh, uh, the family recipes of the man that did this to you, so you can make sure that his grandma's secret recipe is put out to the world.
No. The nemesis is a she, and
Oh,
she's off with her boy toys. I mean, that's what I'm reading right here. And therefore, these are the family recipes where no one speaks of the secret ingredient, and she's going to give away the secret ingredient from the nemesis family. I mean,
won't have you walking again, but
family recipes are very closely guarded in some communities.
yes, but it's I guess it depends on how important those stakes are.
Who wouldn't rescue a signed first edition Mastering the Art of French Cooking from a horrible person who doesn't deserve them? We're freeing the books and taking them to a good home where they'll be properly appreciated. Have you seen what she does to toast?
No, I haven't.
I can just imagine her being horrible at toast and yet hoarding all these antique cookbooks with delicious recipes.
Worth almost as much as the signed first editions.
The
Then
poor
as
toast.
yes.
The poor toast. We're going to turn this upside down because they're ruining the toast. Soylent toast. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my.
I mean, it's really hard to make toast out of protein.
Oh. Is that meatloaf? No, it is meat toast.
And I mean, have I given you my opinion on cauliflower? You can substitute rice with cauliflower, but you cannot substitute bread with cauliflower.
And yet some people insist on substituting on replacing pizza crust with cauliflower.
I know. And if you bring that into my house, you are eating it and taking any leftovers with you, or I am throwing them away, and maybe you. You will not be getting an invitation back to my house if you leave cauliflower pizza in my house.
Yep.
Or try to feed me it without warning.
Welcome to another edition of Abomination Cookbook. No.
Abomination Cookbook. So let's see. Maggie says, this generation of one percenters doesn't even cook. And the sister found the books in the back of the mansion library covered in dust like they hadn't been opened or touched for years. Scott says that almond powder can make a sorrowful bread of shame. I live with a celiac. I am familiar with the ways that you can replace many things with similar items. But some things, it's better just to eat meat and potatoes than try to fix bread. Usually. Maggie says that chickpea bread does not toast well. If I can't toast it, I'm not eating it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a carnivore, diehard carnivore, but I like my bread toasted. So.
I find the fact that after many years of research and experimentation, they have actually developed decent gluten-free breads that taste good. It just makes me wonder, why is it for so many years they just said, okay, here's some glop with no gluten in it, we'll pretend it's bread and move on.
People were trying. People were definitely working on recipes, but many of the recipes were not shelf stable, so couldn't be, so either you made it at home or you suffered. Or you ate things that were naturally gluten-free.
Like meat and
steak
cheese.
and potatoes. Rice. Totally fine.
Yep.
So Maggie says that Charlene has no regrets for the theft or the live stream because Meredith, Mary, is the one she loves most of all. Aw. I'm assuming that's her sister and not the nemesis. Usually nemesi are not the ones you love most of all.
Although some romance novels.
I mean, enemies to lovers is a trope for a reason.
Yep.
But I definitely enjoy it better when they are enemies because they are part of opposite factions or because of misunderstandings than because one side did the other side wrong. Intentionally. Like sometimes there are repercussions you don't understand. It happens. So, I don't like jerks. I'm not a huge fan of jerks.
I don't blame you.
Aw. Maggie says the series is called Devoted Sisters. And now I'm thinking of that little dance number about sisters. The classic movie.
Was that Holiday Inn?
I think so. What are the songs in Holiday Inn?
We has an internet. Why guess when you can look it up?
I don't think so.
Okay. But it was from that era of
Yeah. Maybe White Christmas? Let's try White Christmas. Sisters, yeah. White Christmas.
Okay.
So. Important things.
Yep.
So anyway, what do you say we do? Oh, and I also got my weekly roundup out, so that's done. It's only a day late.
Only a day, right?
As long as I get it out before my next post, which will be this week's author spotlight on Tuesday. That's fine. It's fine. So, yeah, Maggie says the nemesis is Heather, and Heather is a hot mess. Everything addict, spoiled, entitled, and just mean. And eventually she kills her parents.
How rude.
But Maggie doesn't like the death she's already written for her because she writes all the death scenes first. Well, you can always rewrite it if it's not
painful enough.
Oh my goodness. Scott did research on the 440 staircases in San Fran for a short story about liminal portals that literally change neighborhoods overnight. People disappear, roads change, etc. Ooh, that's a lot of research. That's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of staircases. I like living in Tidewater, Virginia, where I can go days without steps. Although my knees would probably benefit from more stairs because they don't like stairs. And, doing that exercise might be good for them.
I was just say my knees benefit from less stairs, but uh,
Yeah. Yeah. So I live in a rancher and you live in a how many story townhouse?
3. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You took my house. Darn
I
you.
know. My sister accused me of taking a 55 and older person's house when I moved in because I have a rancher. And I was
Mhm.
like, well, too bad for them. It's not in a 55 and up community. Although I did see a lot of houses that were. And I was just like, but I can't live there.
Yeah,
Why are you showing this to me?
I'm just surprised that you've found one at all, because people don't move out of ranch style houses in Northern Virginia. They stay until they die, because there are no others.
Her daughter's family was building a new house and
Mm.
she was moving in with her daughter. And part of the reason she accepted the house was because I was flexible on the move-in date because new buildings timelines slide
Like government contracts.
like government contracts. So, aw. Maggie says the thing is that Heather and Charlene suffer the exact same childhood trauma and turn out as opposite as they can be. Yeah, people react differently to
Yep.
trauma. So,
That,
Maggie says that she's hiked many of the San Fran staircases, but after one 4.0 earthquake, she decided to move back to where she can see the disasters coming. And, I assume that means storm cellars when the tornado's on the way.
mm-hmm.
Scott says that he hiked them at night during the pandemic and it felt like a horror story. Yeah, I can see that. Weird spray paint art that said, "We will come back," made me think, dun dun dun. Ooh, that's pretty creepy. Also, making me think of one of the latest Shannon McGuire Wayward Children books. Uh,
Yep.
oh, was it not Wayward Children? I thought it was.
What are we talking about?
Oh, Lost in the Moment and Found. Yeah, it's about liminal spaces and about a door that never opens in the same place twice.
Okay.
So, um, so Maggie says she was a dawn treader, and so the fog makes you look around and say, "Where am I?" Even though I knew I was there the day before. Ooh, very creepy. Definite city vibes there. So, what do you say we do another sprint? Sprint?
I say it's probably about time for another sprint. Yeah.
What? What sort of silliness is that?
Mm.
So, okay. Uh let's go ahead and get started. 23 minutes because it's 2023 and Morgan is easily amused. And also 20 to 25 minutes is my sweet spot. So let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom. Chaka laka 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 laka. Waiting for that to get old. Still not old.
Have you ever experienced anything getting old?
My knees, my
Oh,
shoulders.
okay. That's about it, huh?
And we're back. How was your sprint?
Um, I would not say that I am having a really great sprint right now.
Oh no.
I was going through my list of stuff
Sure.
and realized that I did not know where my uh, square has ended up.
Oh no.
And it's like, okay, this is going to be a major selling event, so I'm going to need that for purchases. So I got to find that sucker.
Good
Otherwise, I'm
luck.
going to have to go out and purchase another.
Yeah. I've seen people make do with like the PayPal app on their phone, but
Mhm.
I'm sure that's not something you want to
Well,
deal with if you can avoid.
the I believe the phones do have the near field the tap technology
Sure.
enabled. I don't think I'll be able to do chip transactions without it, and those are the most secure type. Um,
Yeah.
I'm just a big part of it is I'm worried about hey $50 item gone missing.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
don't blame you.
and so I've been going through various things. I found a lot of other stuff that I needed, and oh, cool! I found more bookmarks. I thought it was out. Excellent.
Hey,
But I'm still
I
not finding my square.
I'm about 800 words into this chapter that I'm revising. I did not write 800 words in a sprint, and that's between last sprint and this one. Although mostly I've been working on this one because last sprint was mostly deleting. Boop. So yeah, I'm doing the epilogue, whatever, the finale of this character, and I'm very excited, but I need to do the epilogue or a climax of another character, so I'm
Mhm.
definitely going to have to be adding a chapter or moving stuff around. I might be able to combine two of her scenes and shift it up. So, thoughts, thoughts.
Thoughts?
Anyway, how is everybody else's friends? Let me pop into the comments. It looks like Scott had to bounce out. Scott said his hair feels old in the morning. Can you pull a muscle in your scalp sleeping? Yes, yes, you can.
Don't ask her
Hey,
how she knows.
T made it. T hopped on just for the sprint. Good to have
Hey,
you.
T.
And as I said, Scott hopped out. He had to do Sunday chores. He just had the house repiped. I'm not really sure what piping is, but it's been 2 weeks of mess that needs cleaning. Oh, I should probably restart the dryer. It had sheets in it, and they need 2 cycles. So I will be doing that after on our next sprint. So but I'm very happy about how this scene is going. Yeah, it mostly just needed transitional changes. So,
Cool.
oh, hey, awesome. Andy is 600 words into the rewrite and is off to get dinner ready. Yeah, I know. 6 o'clock is usually when Andy's got to roll out. He's going to try and get more of this done this week. Good luck. Maggie edited 6 more pages. Snaps.
Nice.
Everybody's just on a roll. I'm super excited with everyone. So proud. I kind of just want to get back into it. Are we ready for another sprint? Do we want to talk about writing? I don't know.
Anyone have a writing question?
Oh, you know what time it is?
It's time for Nightbot to show up and tell us to stretch.
Well, if Nightbot's not going to do it, I will. Gonna pop both my elbows. Ooh, that one does not want to go, but it wants to go, but it won't. It's maybe not my favorite. Okay, so I'm gonna twist right and twist left. And there's a thunderstorm coming down out there.
Really? It's pretty quiet here.
Well, it was until about 10, maybe
And I
5.
have a ghillie.
Ew. Catticus is napping on the back of the couch over there. So there's no clear line of sight from the camera. So otherwise I would turn around and show you. But yeah, who's a good kitty? Oh.
Yeah, it looks like we're not expecting rain up here for another
Whoop.
half hour or so.
And there's the thunder.
The lightning and the thunder.
Patrick says, what are the 3 rules of writing? Write, use verbs, and tell a good story.
So I remember that Highland had 5 rules of writing. I believe the first one was write. The second one was finish what you write.
Oh, yeah. There's that one, Patrick. Finish what you write.
You're right. The third one was something on the order of don't make changes except under editorial instruction. Meaning, don't make changes because somebody suggests something. Make changes because if you make that, they'll buy it. Crap, I don't remember the other 2.
And you said this was Heinlein's rule of writing?
Yeah. I believe
Patrick says there are 3 rules of writing. Unfortunately, no one knows what they are.
I should say that joke is lost on Gen X. If we don't know what the rules are, we make them up.
Okay, Heinlein's 5 rules are: you must write, you must finish what you start, you must refrain from rewriting except to editorial order, you must put it on the market, and you must keep it on the market until sold.
Yep.
So, hey, we have Chad. Hello, Chad, and welcome. Have you swung by my stream before? If not, welcome. If so, I'm sorry for forgetting that you've been by. I am working on revisions on my space fantasy. It is a Baba Yaga telling in which a human dreams of returning to the stars, and she's forced to choose between giving up her dream to be a navigator and betraying her family to sail on an alien ship. We also have her cousin who is dealing with an over-controlling mother and child custody issues with her ex-husband, and an alien sentient space captain octopus person who sails the aether stream between worlds in a nautiloid ship pulled by space manta rays who would much rather face the voids of space than return to her dangerous home planet that has killed too many of her siblings. So, yes, Chad says I did not lose my memory. This is, in fact, his first time swinging by. So, Doc is currently working on packing for a convention, but when he's not doing that, he's working on edits on
the second novel in my series, The Adventures of Crackle and Bang.
Excellent.
First novel's out. Second novel's The Kindred of Kali. That's in edits. Third novel is The Rage of Ragnarok. That's been drafted and is having a little lie down until I'm ready to deal with it.
Sure. So.
All right, so it's almost 6, and I think I'm going to have to disassemble several pieces of furniture to find stuff. So maybe we're ready for a sprint while I do that.
Okay. So let's get started for another sprint. Add to stream. Ooh, I reset it and everything. So 23-minute sprints because it's 2023 and I'm easily amused. And let's go ahead and get started. Let me know what you're working on if you haven't already told us. And we'll be back to chat about our writing or our snacks. This is a judgment-free zone. If today is Slack day for you and you want to read and eat snacks, I totally did that That's what I did last night. I
You,
believe I
you will
binge
find
read.
support.
Yes, I binge read 4 romance novels about brothers and ate a lot of ginger snap cookies and Lent truffles. That was last night instead of working on my edits. I would have watched more Ted Lasso, but my roommate has COVID and we were watching it together,
Oh,
and we're currently trying not to breathe the same air.
yeah.
So, okay, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom, chakalaka laka. And we're back. How was your sprint?
I'm still frantically searching things, trying to find my square. My wife is helping me disassemble various things, looking for it, but I am wondering what the heck I did with it after the last convention.
Yeah.
Because I know I had it at Balticon,
Right?
and I should not have used it since then, but
You're just trying to remember all the things you brought with you to Balticon, which is all the things.
well, it's kind of like, and why the heck did I not put it back in the box where it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
But the good news is I'm finally cleaning off this table next to me, which I've been meaning to do for a while, just not in such a frantic and hurried manner as I'm doing it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I finished Uaya's story.
You did? You finished all your edits?
No, I finished one of the 3 storylines. I'm pretty sure I can wrap up number 2 tonight. I don't know about that 3rd one though. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, super exciting. And oh yes, and grew the storyline enough that yeah, we're comparable length with the other characters.
With the others.
So, yeah. Although I did find a fun typo during that one. I had the word yolk instead of yolk.
You have the word what?
Yolk, like an egg yolk, instead of yolk, like you put
like a yoke around your collar,
like harnessing some characters.
Right.
Yeah. 2 very, very different words. So,
now I was going to say, now the trick is to find a way to keep that by making the phrase be used by one of your non-human characters, so they think they've got the right word, but they don't.
Yeah, it doesn't work in this context because we are in the alien characters inner monologue.
Okay.
So that's not necessarily the best space. So yeah. But we are almost out of time. Oh, that's pretty.
Yep. These are buttons off of my boots.
Oh, they looked familiar.
Yep. My Ren Fair boots came with these Triskelion buttons at first, and I replaced about half of them with gear buttons.
Oh.
Over time.
Shocked. The steampunk author with
gear buttons. Yeah, who'd have thought, buttons.
Right? I mean, put some gears on it and call it steampunk. That's the latest fashion nowadays.
Yep.
Do Believe is a song. Go check it out if you're curious. I'm not making it up. It really is ridiculous.
It's a pretty good song.
Yeah. So Maggie thinks your buttons are cool.
Yes, they are. That's why I kept them. And actually, I found a number of things where they've been useful. Is I replaced the buttons on one of my Cavalier hats. The side is tacked up. Replaced it with the buttons off of my boots. So
perfect. So Maggie says, thanks for the sprints. He says, I haven't heard that ditty in years. I'm glad I could reintroduce you to it and put it back in the forefront of your mind. Right? Maggie made some peanut butter and chocolate chip quesadillas for a snack. So let us know how those turned out. That sounds delish. And T wanted to clarify the song is called
just gears on it and just put some gears on it and call it steampunk.
A song by Jeff Lee.
I'm pretty sure put is in there.
I believe put. So yeah. Okay, well, let's tell people where they can find us and peace out. You can really flip your house upside down like that.
And I can completely destroy my house looking for this. No. Okay. Yeah, forgot to put. So if you're interested in reading some of my steampunk comedy adventures, or you just want to find out a little bit more about me, then you can go to your favorite search engine and you can put in Doc Coleman Steampunk, and that will help you find my website at doccoleman.com. It will help you find my Amazon author page, where you can see all of my published works. And you can also go follow my link tree that Morgan just flashed up there on the screen, and find out where all my other stuff is. You can see where I am on social media as I'm evacuating from Twitter as it is going down in a ball of flame.
Mama Maggie would like us to know that the peanut butter and chocolate chip quesadillas were delicious, or are currently delicious.
Here.
So
there is rejoicing.
There is. Oh, yay! We found the. Yay! Where was it? In a box with things and stuff?
It was in a small bag that I use when walking around at conventions. I tucked it in there and apparently never pulled it out.
Well, charge it.
Yeah, definitely it's charging now.
So, okay. And I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood. I am an actively queering fantasy author, and I blog, vlog, and podcast writing tips from the pros, and of course, my own writerly musings. Let's see. This week, I was blogging about Amazon algorithms and branding, talking about my updates. And over on the podcast writing tips and writerly musings, I was talking about querying versus submitting. What's the difference between sending out a query to agents and submitting to publishers? So I really delve into that on that episode, so check those out. And this week I had Ken Lang as my author spotlight guest, and yeah. So have a great week. Good luck with whatever projects you're working on. And I'm hoping to finish this before next Sunday. So does that mean we don't have next week's Gaithersburg Writers Group?
That has been delayed a week because next week I will be finishing up at Key City Steampunk, and the convention will be closing at 4, so I will be busy doing the normal time for the Gaithersburg Writers Guild, and I will be driving back in an exhausted state when you and hopefully Sako are happily streaming here, but I will be back in 2 weeks. And I will be tired.
Okay. Because I was going to have my manuscript revisions done by the end of August, and since that didn't happen, I was going to have it by the August check-in at the writers group. But since that split a week, you gave me another week.
I've given you another week. You can still make your goal.
I can still make my goal and claim credit. So have a great week, whatever you're working on.
And I've cleaned off my table.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. So have a great week. As Maggie says, be blessed and have a lovely week to all. Good luck with your writing projects or your reading or your snacks, whatever you're working on. I hope you have a wonderful week and don't overdo it. So good luck at the Steam thing.
Key City Steampunk.
Where is that? Is that like Baltimore?
It's in Gettysburg. It used to be in Frederick, Maryland, but we outgrew all of the available hotels, so we've now moved up to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, have a great week, and I hope that goes awesome for you. And hopefully Saku's having a great time at war. So
and she can come back and regale you with tales of the war.
Right. So Maggie says safe trip. So